Welcome back, guys. 1 in 5 to 10,000 people are diagnosed with muscular dystrophy globally, and I'm not sure if that's annually or just in general. Google didn't tell me all that much, but we have Ty Martin on the pod today to go in depth on what muscular dystrophy is, what it isn't, and probably we're both going to have a crash out or two on disability and the system and how much it absolutely sucks. So, Ty, welcome in.
Thanks. It's bound to happen, right?
Right? we're ready. So, obviously, born with muscular dystrophy. Can you walk me through how that has progressed over the years and what it looks like and your personal journey with all of it?
Yeah, well, it's been very progressive, which, muscular dystrophy itself is a progressive disease, and it's gradually taking away your muscle mass and like function. And for me specifically, it started around 8 or 9 years old. And I was still I was walking, doing some running, like I was playing like little league t-ball or whatever. And obviously speed was an issue, and being able to move the same way as everybody else. So that was the first sort of sign that something was going on. And then that ended up progressing more. I had a fall on the playground and hairline fracture or something in my ankle. And I had to get a cast, and I ended up in a wheelchair for part of the recovery time, which, looking back on it now, that was probably a sign too that things weren't healing quite right. Like I shouldn't have had to go through the amount of things I did to rehab from that ankle. And a couple years later, I started having trouble with endurance, just walking between, like, say, music class or art or in like the main elementary school, so that became a situation where I would stay in the classroom when I could. And luckily enough, most of the teachers, it was a very rural, small community. So it was kind of like, we're going to trust you and what you need and try to help in that way, which is nice. Not all schools obviously are like that. And I had some good friends that would stay in with me too from time to time. And, I really tried to downplay all of it, too much so, to be honest, and even when I had, have you seen in Walmart or like Target, they have those longer scooters, they're like motorized, people have like the basket and drive around. So it was, I started using one of those, but it was much bigger and longer and like really hard to fit into classrooms and hallways. And looking back, I'm like, why didn't I just start with the regular seat power chair, but I didn't get that until I was like a junior in high school. And then that opened up a lot. Like I could pull up to desks easier and like get where I needed to a lot more and actually sit by classmates instead of kind of off to the side. So that was nice. But the whole process has been, there's like these little inflection points almost where, things are going along stable. You hit one thing and it declines and you have to reinvent. So it's a constant cycle. And gradually, it takes more and more of the strength, right? So it's weird to say that I at times ignored it. And I'm sure that everybody else around me noticed it more than I did because I grew up it was part of me. So yeah, so that's kind of how that all went down. And now at this point I have a ventilator and a tracheostomy, and like, luckily there's technology to help keep me going. So yeah, that's kind of an overview of what the process has been like.
Yeah. Well, to kind of bounce off of something that you had just said, I think a lot of us, when we're disabled, we're in a lot of denial. Like,
no doubt.
No, because wrapping your head around the fact that it's getting worse is not easy.
Yeah.
It's so easy for people to be like, just accept it. Like, this is what it is. You just have to. No.
And my favorite part is like when somebody says, well, you used to be able to do that. And I'm sitting here like, thanks. That makes me feel like fucking special. Like, thank you for pointing that out.
Like, I'm fucking aware, Susan.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like, well, what I did 6 months ago that could totally change. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So you said things started to decline when you were about 8 or 9. Was
Mhm.
that when you were finally diagnosed, or were you diagnosed much earlier and knew that this was going to be coming?
So actually, it's a funny story. I didn't confirm the diagnosis until about 2 years ago.
Oh.
Like the
Oh.
doctor said, get this, the doctors did a blood test. They sent
Uh-huh.
it to the Mayo Clinic when I was a kid,
Mhm.
and they went with it. Like my what is it called? Not child, but whatever. The person I had as my doctor growing up for neuromuscular
Mhm.
would confirm every single time, well, it's Duchenne. That's the way we're going to try to go forward with it and everything. But they acted like that was an official diagnosis. And only after my gallbladder surgery did I go through notes all the way back. And I found this little piece of paper that was sent to the Mayo Clinic, and then the results came back inconclusive. So I was like, you mean to tell me I went 35 years like thinking it was exactly that, and it might not have been, but it was. I did one of those saliva kit
Right.
tests, and it did confirm after all that it was Duchenne, which is, it's funny because scientific diagnoses are strange. Like they're saying I'm almost a hybrid between Becker's and Duchenne, which are the two more common ones. And
Mm.
it has no bearing on treatment, um,
Right.
other than Becker's is a lot of times it's less severe, or maybe it's prolonged in the progression.
Mhm.
But for all main purposes, I do have the diagnosis. I thought I did, but
Right.
it was only recently confirmed.
It's a little crazy that it's a little bit of a hybrid, because when I was looking up the stats, it's like 83 to 84% is Duchenne, and then 11% is Becker. So it's like when it's a hybrid, that's such a range of it being able to
It's
be a
odd.
hybrid.
Yeah,
We love medical
yeah,
anomalies over here.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like, of course I'm like a mutant hybrid of the two,
Of
but
course. Like,
yeah.
sign me up for X-Men.
See, seriously, casting them out, like seriously. If anybody watching this, tell me.
Right. So once things started kind of declining and things like
Mm-hmm.
that, especially growing up and just watching things getting worse, what was that just walk through like, with not obviously not being able to keep up with classmates and your friends and things like that, and just realizing and kind of coming to terms with the fact that your life was going to be much different?
Yeah, yeah. Mentally, I had a lot of the toxic positivity thing, and
Oh yeah.
a lot of it came from, just from upbringing, and like my family by nature is usually finding the positive and things,
Mm-hmm.
which obviously, like even now, I'm glad I can do some of that, but at the end, like I
Yes.
don't have to be okay with everything that's going on,
That.
like, and that became more and more apparent, I just don't, I have no control over it, and
Mm-hmm.
like it's just, it is what it is, but it doesn't mean I have to like all of it. But at the same time, there's things I do like. I do feel like I grew in some ways with over
Yeah.
time with like mental strength or patience or whatever you want to say on
Yeah.
that side of it. But yeah, it was, I don't know. There were times where mentally it got harder, um, especially in those transition points where I realized, oh, I can't get in the same shower chair on my own anymore, or
Mm.
I have to use this different seat to transfer. Like it's just constant pivoting the way
Yeah.
you do things. Um, but yeah, I don't know if that totally answered your question, but
I mean,
yeah,
it pretty much did. I mean, like you were saying, with all the pivoting, it's like owning a business, but your body is just failing miserably.
that's true. Yep, yep, it is.
It's
And
just like, oh, we're just gonna deal with this. Okay,
seriously,
great.
yeah, yeah, and it did impact obviously every phase of what I was doing, and like I really dug into the academics and the things that I I could do, and there was obviously a lot there. And then I ended up going through grad school, getting, my degree in engineering and everything. And so like I always had a pretty decent, performance on classwork and things like that. And
right.
that spilled into the research field that I was into with biomedical. And, it's like I really invested almost everything into academics and trying to get my degrees and making it like a process, to keep upgrading while the body was like downgrading.
Yeah, right. Balance.
We're going opposite lines here. But no, it until the academics started getting taken away just because of speed and trying to match that whole world is such a, I don't want to say rat race, but it's so involved and it's so reputation driven, and like you need to have more and more papers and really keep moving up. And I realized I couldn't keep the pace up. And then COVID got here, and I was like, well,
better.
I'm in my room with my computer. I should be able to double production while everybody else is having to go home. But then it's like you're living in a little box, and all your life is in that one room almost. And it was just like, I know that it played a part in how I ended up in ICU with the gallbladder and everything. I think stress was a major thing.
1000%.
Yeah. And so like that was a redirect. That 40 days in ICU, I had to complete, like everything changed. Like I couldn't work, and my interest changed obviously. And like I realized I have the time now. I can kind of choose where I want to go. And with some of the support financially with like disability benefits and things like that, like I'm at a point now where I'm sort of stable in that place. My medical team is stable. So like I'm able to do a lot of things that I think I pushed back before. But yeah.
The medical team being stable, man, that is a gem and a half that people that don't deal with chronic illness or disability or, or just kind of living a normie life do not understand how like important it is to have that team that is stable and good, and how much like one doctor leaving or retiring or something like that just like fucks your whole entire existence up for a hot second. You're like, what am I gonna do now?
And the ones that don't listen to you, or that like I've told this story like probably 50 times now, but I had a doctor in like the ear, nose, and throat specialty area, and he looked at me and he said, I've never seen a ventilator with a trach before. And I'm sitting here like, what? Like, how could you not? I mean, that's a pretty fucking common thing to have a vent with a trach. Like, that is not strange. And then he also made comments about, well, they have a treatment for young kids. It's too bad you missed that. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Like, why are you even, like, thanks for the confidence boost. Like, and then what else did he do? Oh, so it was the wrong disease. Not only was it the wrong age, it was for a different version of, it was a totally different muscle disease. And I'm sitting there like, I got to get out of here. This was in New Mexico, it was where I worked. Like I had this high regard for that whole center. And the more and more I did and found out on the medical side for me, I was like, what is this? Like I felt like a animal in a zoo or something. There would be like a team of doctors walking by every morning in the ICU, and like I could hear them talking about me like I was a specimen, so it was just like, once I could get out, go to Vanderbilt here in Tennessee where I am now, like it's night and day different. So yeah, it was brutal though.
Yeah, medical PTSD is a thing, especially like with my experience. We had no idea what was going on with me for about a year. And even to this day, when I'm like trying to explain something to my primary care, who is literally an absolute saint of a doctor, and if she moves, like, I will cry. But even with her, who has believed me from day one and always taken me seriously, there's times where I'm like, I got to come in with my bullet points and my PowerPoint presentation and be like, no,
Seriously.
I swear to God, this is like what's going on. And because like nobody knew what was going on with me for the longest time. And I mean, for all intents and purposes, I have a solo episode if people want to go listen to that of like the in-depth.
Which I recommend, by the way. Those episodes are super insightful. Like right away you would tell stories and be like, yep, that was me.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Like to point out, I ad-libbed that whole thing. Like my notes were 2 lines. I yapped about it for 52 minutes.
You lived through all of it, right? Like,
I did. I don't know how I remembered all of it. And then I'm like, there's things I forgot to mention. So like, just stay tuned for me to remember those. There's so much.
And I don't know about you, but I've only had one ICU surgery stay once. I'd never been in surgery before. And the stories I could tell you of like what some of the meds did to me and like that. I don't know. Have you heard about the delirium? Like ICU delirium? That's a term.
I just know I don't recall 3 days of my life getting out of that second surgery at Upstate.
See, yeah. I remember waking up, I had a tube down my throat.
Yeah, my mom has told me horror stories of how bad I was screaming while they were rotating me.
You're kidding me.
I don't remember any of it.
Well, that's a good thing, actually.
Yeah, I'm very glad. I'm like, thank you, PTSD, for just putting that in the back of the filing cabinet because no thank you.
Yeah.
I had doctors that weren't flat out saying that I was faking it, but definitely like made it seem like they thought I was faking it. And I'm like, my brother in Christ, I'm not faking this shit. I can't walk.
Why would you? I just don't. Ugh,
because here's the thing. We were in Syracuse, New York. They were very in over their head.
Yeah.
And I try not to talk trash about hospitals because I know that they're trying their best, but I will never step foot in Upstate University Hospital ever again for a procedure because of how bad that neurosurgeon just ego.
Yep.
Like if you're in over your head, just admit it. We'll move on.
Yeah. Like the New Mexico hospital I was going to was just, there were so many decisions and bad things that happened. Like a fractured hip. I ended up with a hairline fracture in my hip because of that. And it was just like, guys, you got to go a little slower here with my joints and stuff. Cause I mean, and with MD, like with the stats you're talking about, there should be some knowledge, I feel like, of people that can't flex or move the same way.
Exactly. Like, let's just put it into perspective, statistics speaking. Okay. There are 330 million people in the US. If it is 1 in 5 to 10,000, that is not a rare condition.
No, it's not. It's not.
So why the fuck do we not have, and I'm not even saying a cure because
no,
there are a lot of people that have very strong opinions on cure versus treatment. I'm just saying how to fucking treat it. Why do we act like it's brand new information and a brand new case every single time we run into somebody that's disabled?
Right. And even people that don't have MD, sometimes they're going to have some other thing going on. They can't get turned a certain way or like flipped over, on their side. Like some people just can't move that way.
Well, so let's just put it this way.
Yeah.
Like I have a condition in my spine called syringomyelia, and I tell doctors here about it, and they're wonderful, and they want to try really hard, like they act like they know what it is, but they have that look on their face, and I'm like, do you want me to spell it for you? And they're like, yes, please. Because mine is so rare. My last time I checked, this dermoid cyst in my nerve root with the syringomyelia and everything else going on is like 1 in 200 cases worldwide.
Yeah. So
granted, it's been a couple of years since I checked it.
But you're doing like a full scientific presentation for these doctors. Yeah.
yeah, I'm over here like I am the medical anomaly. I feel like with muscular dystrophy, like we
Right.
should have a better understanding.
Yeah. And, with all, I mean, there was a telethon they did it for like, I don't
Oh my
know,
God, I
for
remember
like a
that.
million years.
Oh my
And
God.
that was another thing, by the way. Like I was almost in mourning on those days when that telethon would be on, because I'm like,
Mhm.
oh man, like put on the Sarah McLachlan music with the little, baby kitties. Like
I know.
that's how it felt. It was just
Yeah.
like this sob story thing. I'm like, fuck that. Like that's not how like we
Yeah.
can live, a life that has some purpose. Like we're not just, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
whole thing.
That's that we could do a whole season,
Oh yeah,
honestly, on
you're
how
right.
people view disability, how they,
Mm,
I mean, there's been, and I don't know if you've seen it, a very controversial pro-choice choice when it came to a social media couple that happened.
mm-hmm.
And it's very like, it's again because they thought their child was going to be disabled, so they decided to go through with ending the pregnancy, and um it's not going over well.
No, nope,
And while I don't think anyone should necessarily get dragged on the internet, it gave me a little hope that maybe people are understanding that people with disabilities deserve to exist.
exactly, right.
Like, what a concept.
And like, not that we choose obviously to have
Right.
whatever we're going through, but at the same time, I'm like, in a lot of ways, we have a life that's more, I would say, more fulfilling
Oh,
than anybody else
1000%.
would think. Like,
Yeah.
especially now. I mean, there's so many things and ways we can contribute and prolong, you know, life with the treatments we do have available that work. Like, I just don't think it's a diversity thing. Like, I think it brings like a good balance to society in a lot of ways. But I mean, the masses of, the normies, as we say, it's
Mm-hmm.
just like they don't, like, until they have it or deal with it, they really don't know. And even if you tell them, like, how are they going to believe? Or I mean,
Yeah.
it's always going to be a thing, I feel like, with ableism.
Oh,
But
yeah,
yeah,
literally.
yeah, I did not know about that incident, but I can see where that caused some debates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not going over well. And I am not sure what my opinion is one way or the other, but it is
See, I'm
nice to
not
see that
either.
people are finally like, people with disabilities deserve to exist.
Right.
But there's always like a caveat to that. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously I am, not to ever get political, but I'm very pro-choice. I
Right.
am. I think it's everyone's decision.
And see, I was
It's
going to
not
say
my
that
business.
exact thing. Like do what they feel and what they want. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to judge or assume or like
Mm-hmm.
say that I am like privileged or like high and mighty enough to say,
Right.
I mean, that's ridiculous. Like, but it's like, all I know is that each of us should be able to decide what we're doing.
Yes.
And
You don't have to
yeah,
be pro-choice for yourself, but
no.
don't take it away from someone else's decision. And like, that's kind of where I'm at. Do I necessarily agree with their decision and their reasoning? No. But do
Mm-hmm.
I agree with the fact that they got to make a choice and they should have been able to make a choice?
Right.
1000%.
Right. No, I
And
totally
that,
agree.
ladies and gentlemen, is how pro-choice works.
Yep. Yep. Plain and simple. That's the direct, that's how it
Yeah.
is.
It's
Yeah.
almost like it's none of your fucking business.
Yeah. See, like that. See if everybody would embrace that. Just that saying, like,
Mm-hmm.
everything would be better.
It would be.
But yeah, we all have to, so many have to just sit there and judge and assume and stigmatize. And that's how
Yeah.
yeah, that's how they do it.
I mean, I'm definitely seeing some of my Facebook friends currently
Mm-hmm.
having a field day with it and being like, they're virtue signaling, like, this is wrong kind of deal.
Yeah.
And I'm over here like, there's some days that like I I tried to self-abort a couple of times, so it's not like I'm over here like, yes, I'm over here like, not literally my disability is why I tried to once upon a time. So like, I get it, but at the same time, like, I'm glad I'm still here, but at the same time, like, get out.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And I mean, our minds are so complex and stuff too. So like, that's another thing. How can we judge how we feel, or like even like self-judgment, right? Like that's a thing too, a lot, but it's, but I agree with you on all of the, pro-choice thing, because I don't understand why people can't just do that.
Yeah, it's like, okay, if it's not for you, then don't do it.
Right. But again, out of our control.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just sitting here like, whatever, like, just do your thing. But we've kind of gone over, and for the record, guys, I was also on Ty's podcast, and we can definitely, I actually do want to do like a wild left turn. Talk to me about your podcast, because I've been on it. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
So talk to me about what your why to starting a podcast.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. I never, when I was going through college doing like presentations, or maybe I would like record a video for some part of my research like that, I had some background in minor video type editing and doing that kind of work. So I was fairly comfortable speaking into the camera and recording all that. But it was one of those things where I got out of ICU. It took me about, I'm going to say, a year before I really felt up to doing anything else beyond living, like trying to, my family became like nurses basically. And so like every day was marathon of, monitoring my trach and like making sure we could stretch and all that. But once I got enough of that function back, then I started doing just some basic social media, like advocacy stuff, and like sharing some like bullet lists, or like, here's top 10 things about, like, you need to know about the disability or whatever. So it was very text and image heavy. And then I thought, well, maybe I'd been a guest on a couple podcasts, and I thought, that might be something I could look into, and it could be interesting, but I had no timeline on when or if I would do a full podcast or like have routine episodes or whatever. But it was an interesting story. I talked to somebody I was going to do a collab with, just like a carousel or something on Canva or whatever. And then for some reason, somehow it ended up, they thought it was a podcast, and asked like about that, like when we record and stuff. And I'm like, I don't remember saying that per se, but I was like, sure, let's give it a go, and so that was like the end of 2024, I want to say. And so then over break, I started kind of looking around and like all the disabled community, and I noticed how like split like you would think it'd be united.
No,
and
not at all.
It's still kind of not. But I had the bright idea, like, oh, I could try to bring perspectives, and it's interesting because I had done, I'd started doing some adaptive product designing at the very end of my grad school. And so we did this project with the National Science Foundation, and we had to interview like 100 people in 7 weeks through Zoom, because it was during COVID. So that was not fun. Those videos were long, and the meetings lasted way too long, and it burned me out so bad. But being home and not employed and like just left to my own thoughts, I started thinking, well, I could tailor this into like something comfortable or relaxing or conversational, that maybe wouldn't be stressful, and I could just loosely edit some things. And and then I gradually got several people that were interested in doing it, and it just sort of took off. And before I knew it, I was like, I would have 5 episodes done and published, but then 15 episodes sitting over here like not edited still. And I'm like, okay, this is a lot. Like I should start, getting more of these out. So I did 2 a week there for about a month or two. And then obviously like I didn't want to get burnt out on that the way I did with school, like academic stuff. But it just sort of took off. And like I would do just basic questions and try to like take some tangents or left turns like you were mentioning. And, that's kind of how it got started, and it merged with like the advocacy stuff I was doing really well. And it's I feel like I've gotten a little bit more and more polished with it, but still keeping that conversational element, right? Because like you can't put that into words. Like you can't get tone, you can't get like back to back feedback sarcasm, like which obviously sarcasm is a big deal for me, but
same.
All those kind of things. And like now I'm at the point where I've done enough episodes I can start, I don't want to say cherry picking, but like refining.
Yes.
Like I haven't talked to these people. I haven't talked to caregivers yet. I want to bring more of them in. I haven't talked to therapists as much, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to really broaden out the scope of what that looks like. And I've even had some people that I had on, I didn't think they had any connection to disability or chronic illness per se. And a bunch of them there would be something that they were dealing with, or some maybe hidden invisible disability thing. And it was just like, oh, there's just this thread that, any level of disability you could really sort of connect in some ways. So that's kind of how it started. And, like I think, I'm on episode 99 the end of this week. And it was just like, wow, I don't know how I got here this quick. Yeah.
I know. I'm 129. It'll be over like 130 by the time this airs, obviously. But
over 3 years, right? Like
well, I did.
You celebrated your.
I did. I just celebrated 3 years, which is just absolutely insane. And if anyone's wondering, like, oh, 3 years, like I should have this down pat. I hit the mute button mid episode. You will never have it down pat. Okay,
that's fine. Like that was something else I grew out of in graduate school. Like, you make mistakes with things. Like it's fine. Like, and I know that sometimes in the laboratory you make one mistake and you can cost millions of dollars, obviously, if it's wrong. So mine was all computational though, luckily. So the only penalty I might have is time. Like if I let something run on the computer, found one little detail that was wrong, go back and edit it and rerun it, just, that kind of stuff. And I realized that I just don't have to be perfect with anything. And that's how these conversations are too. I think that I don't like the cold interview approach. So, and I had always kind of liked talk shows like David Letterman or Craig Ferguson. Like I always liked the way that a lot of them did their stuff. It was kind of unscripted, off the cuff, a lot of it. And I was like, hey, not to say that I'm a master host or anything, but I'm like, I can make this fun and interesting and talk about disease, but also talk about like, what makes you go? Like, what are you into? Like music, advocacy, volunteering, like whatever. Like the stories are just really cool. So I got into that a lot. And it was pretty cathartic to learn and see what everybody else is dealing with. Like it is like you don't feel so alone anymore.
Yeah, and that's what I love about podcasting, is bringing that community of people together of like, hey, you're not the only one that's dealing with this. There is at least one other person on this planet that is going through this.
Yeah.
And I think too, what people are judged on, especially in the disability community, is their disability. And it's like, hey, we are these people that are so much more. Like I am so much more than having a back that decided to like just have bad placement as a baby and then go to shit at 19. You are so much more than someone that got diagnosed with muscular dystrophy. And it's like, I wish as a whole, and I think I crashed out on this a little bit on your episode, but like on your podcast, but I just wish as a whole people saw us as past like about like our interests and who we are and
Yeah.
what we represent. And also, like, I wish that luxury items were not luxury items because they're
Yep.
for fucking accessibility, for God's sake.
And that's digs into the whole insurance thing a little bit too for me, because and I think it's approved now. I don't know if I mentioned it too much before, but there's an elevator on these power chairs that you can get, and it helps me to raise up high enough to get in bed. So it's not like it's a luxury thing.
No.
But for the longest time, it was out of pocket. Like,
of course,
the whole chair would be covered except that elevator, and it was an essential thing. Like, I had to have it, and so you set up a payment plan, and you're just like, oh, like, I better like get some more fucking overtime going or something, because you know how that goes. But yeah, you're right about the luxury thing. It's and these wheelchairs, for example, are the price of a car. I mean, like, not just like a small, like, sedan or something like that. We're talking like,
40, 50K.
Like a huge SUV or something. And it's, so it's so strange how that has gotten so out of hand. And the insurance companies are king, right? Like, they're the ones that make all the money, the decisions, all of it. So you're kind of at their mercy. For sure.
I love when someone at a desk decides if I need something versus someone actually looking at me. It's wonderful.
Oh yeah. That actually reminded me too of when you were talking about the disability, like, well, I don't remember your exact word, but I think of it like a hierarchy too. Like, that's something I've had to learn a lot, is that most of us are empathetic, that we do try to help everybody and understand their different perspectives. But I find that a lot of people that are more able-bodied often look down on anybody with more severe disabilities.
See, I've seen the opposite.
Really?
Yes.
That's nice.
I'm not in a wheelchair. And there were people in even my local community that looked down on me and gave me like an attitude and shit because I wasn't disabled enough, because I wasn't in a wheelchair and didn't require 24/7 care, and I didn't
it goes both
require
ways, right?
all of these things. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. No, I can totally see that. Like, people that maybe park in a accessible space and they have the placard, and then people are actually watching to see if they look disabled or not when they're parking there.
Oh, like, I deal with that all the time. I get people that mean mug me when I park in ADA parking, and I'm just like, I get out with my cane, and then I've never seen old people pivot so quick in my life, and I'm like, yeah, bitch, I belong here.
That's right. Yeah, that stuff happens all the time. And I do think obviously it depends on the individual, but it's like you can find people that are just assholes on every side of it, right? Like, it's
anywhere.
Disability doesn't prevent people from doing certain things. So, that's it's not the community that I mean, there's a lot of good. There is a lot of close-knit, like, groups, and it's so helpful, but still
there's actually one person in particular that's from here that has been featured nationally on magazines and stuff as an advocate, and I'm like, let's not talk about the fact that I had to report you to HR at one point in time because you called me a douchebag for not being able to necessarily accept certain things that like I thought I could power through things, and you called me a douchebag because you were this like elitist person in the disabled community that thought you were better than me because I was still figuring my shit out.
Right.
And like, I wound up reporting them to HR.
And then so many act like
I quit my internship.
Experts. Yeah. Like, you get people that just assume they know everything. And
now they're this person that's big in the disability community. And I'm just like, if only people knew you in real life. Because I got stories. And I'm sure people have stories about me.
Well, yeah.
But I own my stories.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's like, a lot of us are transparent. Like, we'll admit things for sure, but the presumptuous ones that sort of ride that, celebrity pathway, for the wrong reasons of advocacy. Like,
I'm like, oh,
it's
God,
disappointing.
and for them, they probably don't even recall that interaction with me.
Probably not.
But for me, I fucking remember that because I was like, this is how the disability community treats other people that are less disabled than they are.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's another one of those like uncontrollable things. I feel like you got to realize you're not going to, like, not everyone's going to be kind, or like they're going to assume things. And, and social media is so bad on some of that.
Oh God. I was terrified to actually, like, for lack of a better term, and I'm so going to get canceled, but to uncancel me, I am part of the LGBTQ community, so like fight me. But I came out of the disability closet, and like when I dropped that episode, and I was like my solo episode, and I was terrified because I was like, people are going to somehow people are going to judge me for something that is completely out of my control. And some of it was a safety thing, but also it was just like, I need to be okay in my truth and like what I'm actually dealing with. And I know that there are some people that wish I would shut the fuck up about how shitty the disability like perks are and things like that in the system, and how hard it is to stay on the system. And I mean,
that's for sure.
I can't get a letter from Social Security without having a panic attack before I open it. Like, I need to have an emotional support human sitting there with me when I open it, because it could be like, hey, this is the thing that you actually requested from us, or hey, we're cutting your benefits again. I literally got, oh my God, this is ridiculous, but I literally got a letter. 2 letters. Okay. One was dated the day before that I was opening, and one was for the day after. So it was like in the future a little bit. And one said, hey, we're no longer paying your Medicare, or the state of New York is no longer paying your Medicare. So not only do you owe us back pay, and you're going to get whatever we give you like cut severely, but then it's just going to be, so you're going to have to pay the Medicare premium, blah, blah, blah. So it's going to be even less than what you're making. And by the way, in case anybody was wondering, full disability benefits are not a fucking livable wage, and I will die on that goddamn hill. And then the next letter that was dated for the day after I was opening the mail was like, just kidding. Everything's fine.
I had that not the exact same thing, but I had something very, very similar happen.
Yeah.
With that, it was a state benefits application.
Yep.
And I got, like the letter saying, no, you didn't get it, and all this. Like, and I was like, oh, great, there I am back, back to the fucking drawing board again. But then I got another one, like same thing, like the second day, and it was dated in the future, and it said you got it. Like, I'm just like, what is going on?
And like
what kind of sinister tricks are being played here?
And it's just like, okay, so you're just playing with people's like mental health and livelihood and lives over here. Like who, and I am incredibly fortunate. I live in a state that has one of the highest levels of disability services and like allocations and things like that. The state of New York is incredible with that. It is less incredible with a lot of other things, but we won't get into that.
Yeah.
But I live in probably one of the top 3 states for disability benefits and things like that. So, and I also, because I'm finding that it is rare that I am a disabled individual with a support system and a family, and like so I am incredibly fortunate, and these things are still happening to me, where it's like, if I didn't have the support system and the things that I have in place, like these people that are getting these letters that don't have that, like I'm having mental breakdowns over it. And I know that there's no way that my family is going to let me fall flat on my face with all of this.
And see, that's what I realized more and more too, like even with the podcast, like the number of people that we talk to, and we realize like, I am privileged. Like I am in a place where it's not great, but the support's there, and most of the time, like the equipment's covered, and most of the time the meds are covered, except for when insurance decides to not cover certain ones anymore.
Yeah. Or switch your pharmacy on you.
Or switch your pharmacy. So like it is, I just can't imagine someone that doesn't have that, and how much anxiety and stress that,
Yeah.
I mean, you're having to pick and choose like a livelihood too, right? Like if that's the way you're gonna have to go, your housing or I mean, everything else that people need, groceries, like, all of that becomes a strain because if someone else has to cover, like if they have to do out of pocket on anything, it's going to kill and the Social Security benefits most of the time are like shit. Like nothing is
absolute shit
covered. Like,
and God
and
forbid
you burn through that like nothing.
Yeah. And even if you're trying to be frugal and save up and stuff, you can't have over $2,000 in your bank account.
Exactly.
Ever.
And you can't get married.
No, you cannot get married. Ask me how the fuck I know. Because I did. And I lost everything. And it was up to my ex-husband to cover everything. And he had a really, really good job. And we still wound up living paycheck to paycheck because I didn't have the services that I did. And then my divorce was finalized December 2024. And this is June of 2026. And my shit is finally mostly kicked back in.
Right. Like dehumanizing much? Like,
yeah, because, and again, another hill I will die on. Society sees disabled people as less than human because they can't contribute to the workforce and they can't contribute to this, that, and the third.
Allegedly.
But then again, it's an impossible thing because even if you could work, you lose your benefits. And guess what? Most of us can't work to a point where we can afford, because I live in New York. You think I'm affording jack shit?
Right.
No.
Right.
Like, I think the average you need to be making is like $35 to $45 an hour. You're not going to find that outside of a trade.
Good luck finding, I was going to say, good luck finding that job. And like, and then on the other hand, like, I mean, going kind of back to the academic world, like, you're not, 60 hours is not going to cut it to do, like, to be productive enough and move up in the ranks, so to speak. Like, I mean, and then again, there's your mental health going like straight down the drain.
Because let me tell you, if my body does not keep up with normal people's bodies. So I burn out a lot quicker, which means I'm going to need more days to recover, which means that 40, 50-hour work week is not happening for me. So it's just this like cycle of just keeping you well below the poverty line. And like you try to up, but especially with inflation and the way things are now, there's no getting up above that.
Keep making people feel less than human.
Exactly.
I mean, like, let's keep treating them like, they're second rate people, and I mean, there's been all kinds of stuff about like stigma with that, and like even some really, really disturbing things about votes not counting for as much. Now, this could be a rumor, but I heard that was actually a thing in some places. Like they don't want certain people to be able to have full votes. And I'm just like, how?
There have been bills and opinions introduced. I don't think any of them have passed, but there have been
just the fact they've been, like the fact they've been introduced is disturbing. Like that is and like there's still institutions that are basically doing torture type things to people with certain diagnoses, and if their family or parents don't want anything to do with them, they're more than happy to let certain doctors in certain places keep them and do experiments that are like the most inhumane things still happening. So I'm
people
just like,
people think institutions were in the 50s. Like, no, I actually know someone. He has since passed away due to complications from his disability, but he was institutionalized.
Yeah.
And he was only a couple of years older than me, and I was born in 92. And he was institutionalized, I think, from 15 to his 20s.
Yeah.
So
I can't even imagine.
Very recent. It was in the last 20 years.
Yeah. And that's what's so disturbing. It's like, well, and this goes back, I was going to mention too, when I was doing disability management, basically, and the academic stuff, I was unaware of a lot of the fucked up things going on.
Yeah.
Just disability treatment in general. And like, I mean, some days I'm just like, I kind of miss that being unaware feeling because there's so much.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I mean, like you said, like with our privilege, like I still feel that sort of weight on my shoulders for the community going through what it does. Like it's so bad to see what's happening.
It is. And it's one of it, like you were saying, I wish I was blissfully unaware, but now I know, and now I have to try and like mentally dissociate from that because they need the advocacy, but my empathy is just like too much when it comes to that.
So you absorb a little bit.
Take it all on. I take it all on, and it's the worst.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. But it's hard because like we know. We don't know exactly what they're going through, but we know some of it.
We know enough. Yeah.
You know? So to kind of, I don't want to say lighten the mood a little because this is probably going to take a dark turn.
You mean like go away from the toxic negativity?
Yeah. I love to hear everyone's take in the disability community on the word inspirational. Because I just threw up in my mouth a little saying it. Yeah.
I don't love that term. No. Especially, okay, if it's an achievement that's like hard for anybody to reach or to get, then I can see, you know, like how, well, I mean, like someone going to the moon for the first time or somebody getting like Nobel Prize, like, you know, that kind of stuff to me is like, wow, that's inspiring work to like change something for the it's a huge problem even. But just like, I want groceries. I want to be able to shop for my groceries. Like, I want to be able to breathe even with a ventilator, like, you know. I mean, last time I checked, most people will try to survive through whatever, right? And like still, but I mean, isn't that kind of life, period?
Literally.
I mean, yeah, so I don't, and there's other words or other, even just looks people give me that it's like, there's inspirational. Like, I can see it in their eyes that that's the kind of thing, like a pity type definition of it, right? Like it's like a sympathy people have. And I'm just like, why don't you be empathetic instead of sympathetic? Like, can we make that distinction? Yeah. So that word itself, I really don't want any part of what it stands for.
No, I 1,000% agree. And for me, it's like, find it inspirational that I've been podcasting for 3 years straight. Do not find it inspirational that I definitely threw my fucking back out deciding to go to the state fair and waltz my ass around.
Ooh, that sounds rough.
Yeah. We're going to be using the scooter from now on. Like I'm at the point where I just don't care. And now I'm like, give me the damn scooter. Like I'm running over ankles.
When you hit that point, like in your life with
it's
disability,
so
you're
weird.
Like, I don't fucking care if someone's going to see me. Like, I wear a salon cape a lot of days because I have tubes coming out of my chest to my stomach. Like, I'm not going to put on a shirt under that every single day. I'm going to the grocery store or like, and being in Tennessee, it rains all the damn time. So I'm like, hey, it's like a raincoat too. And I don't care if they look at it and see like, what is that person? Like, and it's funny. I have actually a funny story just happened yesterday. So I went to the movie theater for the first time since pre-COVID.
Nice.
For a bunch of reasons, but I chose to actually try it yesterday, and I went to a local theater, and about halfway through the movie, so my family was there with me, you know, we were watching it, and like this guy comes up and asks about so my ventilator has an LED screen, right? It's like really bright, but it's small, but super bright. And like a lot of times it'll flash warnings that are I mean, nothing's even wrong. But it was going off during the movie, and this guy comes up and asks if we could do something to turn it down or cover it up or something. And I'm like the nerve to actually walk up to somebody and say that. And one of the theater staff members came over and gave us free tickets for the next show because they knew, like, I don't know, the customer told them or complained about it or whatever, but they were like, they were sympathetic, or not sympathetic, but like, we're sorry that was your experience. You know, like, and that never happens, by the way. I would love to see that happen more, where people just notice things being done. And I mean, just noticing, you forget the free passes, like the fact anybody even saw that and felt something. But I just can't imagine being somebody like that customer to come up and say that. I'm just like, it's not a laptop. It's not a phone. I'm not sitting here texting during the movie. It's like, that's where my airflow is coming from, dude. Like, so it's crazy, like, what you put up with. But that was kind of a tangent, but it's hot on my mind right now.
No, but it's something that we have to deal with. Like, and like you were saying, like, you just have to stop caring about it. But also,
it's
things
true.
like that suck.
Yeah. But you know, when I use it now, I'm like, hey, that's another social media story. Like, I have more, like,
thanks for more content, bud.
Exactly. And that's negative comments on socials too, right? Like, the accounts that do the best, to me, get the most, like, scrutiny or the most hate. And it's like, that's just pivoting to help the person in a lot of ways. So, you know,
that's the thing. Every time I get, and I don't get negative comments about my disability yet, but I get negative comments about a lot of different things. And anytime I get the negative comments, I could engage. I could tell them about themselves, but I just literally go, thank you so much for, like, taking part in putting this back on the FYP. Like, you're so appreciated. And then I put a kissy face, because there's nothing that irritates men more than an unbothered woman.
See, and I had this epiphany, like, I guess I'm a late bloomer in social media, but like, there was a couple things where I directly engaged and responded to something, and probably should have let it go for a few days.
I mean, there are some things that require response.
Yeah, but at the same time, I scared myself, because I thought I was always kind of that pullback, like you said, you know, just give them, like, that positivity right back in their face. And every once in a while, I'm just like, ooh, I can't just back off. But
there's a very fine line between letting things go and enabling shitty behavior.
Yeah.
And agree. Like, if it comes to negativity about disability, that we're not going to let that go.
Right.
Negativity on, like, me doing a lip sync to a JoJo song, and someone's like, oh, well, if you're still dealing with this at 34, then you must be the problem. And I'm like, I'm so glad that you know everything about my, like, 14-second clip. Have a blessed day. Like, that we're going to let go. I'm not going to give him any more.
Yep. And I mean, it makes you feel better too, going that route.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't have to do shit, because my people will be on that. And I'm like, guys, come here. Not worth it. You know, because they'll find your mom, your job. I'm like, guys,
they will tear down every element of you. Like, because it's like, it's a game almost, like,
yeah. So I got to call my people off, because I'm like, it's not worth it, because they'll never move out of their mom's basement. Just let them be.
That's fair. Yeah. And like, you know, in a few days, like, you know, their life's still going to be, you know, like, not great, because they're looking for things to tear down. But
if you took the time to comment on my dating history off a 14-second clip, you got bigger problems.
Yep, I can diagnose every part of your being in 14 seconds. Like,
like,
oh, I hate that.
It's not me, it's you. I don't think I'm the problem here.
No, definitely not.
You know, So we've gone over a ton, but what is one thing that you wish, it's probably not going to be one thing. It's probably going to be like 150,000 things, but pick one.
Okay.
That you wish people knew about disability as a whole.
I mean, the low-hanging fruit is the humanness of people, right? Like, I mean, to just not to believe what the image is that's put up on TV, billboards, commercials, like all of those stigmas, all of those like perfect life, American dream, quote unquote, like, you know, like everybody's going through their own shit. Like, even if they're not disabled, there's something going on. So, I mean, it's the easy answer, I guess, but that common thread of being a person, you know, I think that's all that a lot of us want, is to be treated that way. And if some of us need like unique medication or technology and it's available, like, well, why is that a problem?
Yeah.
And
I think too, my biggest thing that I always am telling people is disability can happen at any point. You could get in a car crash and have a massive TBI. You could get in a car crash and, you know, you could fall off a trampoline weird and break your leg in a weird spot, and you're going to have a weird ass limp and not be able to lift as much for the rest of your life. Like, it could be that simple. It doesn't have to be like, you know, these stories that we see of like the bride whose friend jumped on her in the pool and she was paralyzed from the neck down, you know, that kind of thing. It doesn't have to be that dramatic. It can be literally, you broke your leg weird. You know, and now, like, because of how it broke, it's on a nerve. And, you know, if I know anything about nerve damage, it's that shit can happen in the blink of an eye for no fucking reason, and you are fucked for life.
Right? Like weird infections show up. Or like, and you know, that touches on something else I'd actually I'd done a pod recently. We talked about kind of the sense of disability bringing mortality and death closer to people than what they want. Like, they want to be able to not think about that and push that back out of their minds, you know, forever. And so I think there's some really uncomfortable feelings when people realize, oh, they're dealing with something that's super life-threatening, or like, oh, like the diagnosis, when I Google it, it says, oh, they only have 10 years left or something like that. It's like,
it's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But it's unfortunately very much a fact of life that you could be born with it. It could happen to you. And I don't know if people know this, but the likelihood of you and your body just completely imploding by the time you're old is so, like, disability almost will happen to everyone.
Right. You're right. It will in some way. Right. Unless it's just like an instantaneous thing, which
like
sometimes that might be the best option. But yeah, and that, like, again, the common thread of being human is, unless they perfect like cryo freezing technology or something to like preserve. I mean, nobody's gonna avoid.
We're not getting out of this alive, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, I don't care who. Like, you can have 100 million followers. You can have, you know, a bank account. Like, you can have all the power in the world. Not to mention names, but yeah, in the end, like, we're all gonna go through, you know, that path at some point. So yeah.
And I'm not saying everyone will have a disability and kick it. I'm just saying, like, naturally, as you age, you're able to do less. And that does become some form of a disability. Unless you are my grandfather who just got cancer one day and within 6 months was gone. But even 6 months or 3 weeks before he died, he was still like perfectly fucking healthy, and then just couldn't breathe one day and was on a ventilator for a week and was gone.
Right.
You know, or the perfectly healthy guy that has a widowmaker or something like those are.
And I want to say, like, we're
rare.
not wishing
No.
Like, it's nothing like wishing anything on anybody. Because I could just hear that coming.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
So, like, you just want everyone. Nope. I'm just saying, at some point, more likely than not, some form is going to happen to you, whether it is old age and you have lived the longest, most able-bodied life, and then you are 80 on a walker.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
And I don't know about you, but like adding age on top of disability is
I'm
not
not looking forward to that at all.
Like 40 is looking way too close for me. And I'm just like, so I have the old, like the aging stuff on top of the progression. So I'm just like, oh boy, this is going to be fun.
That's the thing too. Our bodies age a lot quicker.
Oh yeah.
So everyone's like, oh, well, you know, in like 30 years. And I'm like, I will be 64 and probably a fucking miserable pretzel.
Yeah.
Don't remind me that I got 30 semi-good years left in me. Let me just exist right now, okay?
Right. No, and that reminds me too that was one other thing I was going to say for like that final point about disability is like, you know, you add that age factor, like everybody's going to go through something. And the other thing, our minds are not our body, if that makes sense. Like a lot of times our minds are going a million miles faster than externally. And so I'm like, you know, that assumption that physical is linked with something that's, you know, maybe like a psychological or mental impairment or something, like one doesn't depend on the other. Like just because you have the one thing, don't assume that you know what's on the inside, I guess, is the big deal.
Yeah. People just need to treat people like people.
Yeah, that's it. That's the quote right there, I think.
That's the T. That's the T.
Yeah.
Is it going to happen in our lifetime? Absolutely not. But I'm hoping with each generation that comes, we are just learning to be better people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just
you know what? Like,
there.
It's okay for kids to spend time around people with disabilities. Like,
oh yeah.
I'm just like, if they don't have that, I would be like, someone should find someone to learn from on that. Like, just
normalize it.
Be around it, you know, and realize that not everybody is, you know, Captain America on the movie screen, right? Like it's all just that perfection thing is such a facade that people use. So,
but I think because people are being more and more open about disabilities, and unfortunately disabilities are less rare in this country, mostly because we're not locking them away in institutions and or offing them.
Right.
You know, because it's happening more and more, I think more and more kids are being exposed to it. And I think it is slowly becoming more normal. I know in my family and the kids in my family, it's very normal. I was on vacation and two of the girls that were in our house came in and we're like sitting on my bed at 7:30 in the morning. And one of them, sweetest kid ever, she's like, I know I probably shouldn't be asking this, but like, what happened? Mind you, this kid spent 9-10 years of her life around me. And she's finally asking 10 years later, because to her, I've always just been Heather.
Right.
And guess what? I told them what happened and they went, okay, cool. Thanks for telling us.
See, and I love that. Like that's exactly what I mean about you're taking, like I have a nephew that's 5 years old. And like for him to know that it's okay to have a wheelchair and a ventilator and you're still doing things. I mean, like it'll become like a second thought, I hope. For a lot of
mine roasts me just as much as his mother does. And like, he's one of the very few people who get to roast me.
Yeah.
But my sister's also like one of my main like quote unquote caretakers, because I don't require 24/7 care, but I do require some help. So she is my main person. Her kid has grown up with me on a cane, disabled. So he roasts me a little bit. And we're just like, dude, you can do it like in-house, but just don't do it in public, because like not everyone's going to understand that you're not making fun of me. It's just like our little love language. So, I'm just trying to normalize it for the kids around me, that it happens. It can, I'm not trying to scare you, because I'm not saying that this will happen to you, but like, this is just what happens. And sometimes people just get the wrong deck. and deck of cards, and you just play the hand that you're dealt. And
Yeah.
sometimes that's a really shit hand, and you have a pity party for 24 hours or 2
that
days.
is very true. That happens.
Or you take a whole weekend, but
or
then
like
other
the
times
gallon of
it's
ice
fine.
cream days, right? Like when you're just sitting
Yep.
there, like self-pity. Yeah. But you're right. The more that happens, it's gonna, I hope, reflect later on too.
Yeah.
And yeah.
You know, we're not sideshow freaks. We're not, you know, exhibits in a museum. We are people with thoughts and feelings and opinions and lives, and we can contribute just as much to society as anyone else can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree. Yep.
And not everyone views it that way, but the point is, more and more people are.
Right, and like for the ones that don't feel that way, like they don't have to share that. I mean,
yeah,
they can keep that attitude to themselves.
Yeah, or just like pray to whatever God they believe in. That
as long as it's them doing it to theirs, not walking over doing it to us per se. Like,
I mean, I've literally been approached in stores before, being like, "What happened?" It's like none of your goddamn business.
I've had people walk by in a restaurant and put cash in my hand, and I'm sitting there just like okay, like I was having breakfast, but thank you for making me feel about 2 inches tall.
It's so fucking disgusting. I don't.
Yeah.
Hopefully that changes again as the world of social media is out there, and a lot of us are.
That's the good of it.
You know, getting out there and talking about it more and what it is and what it isn't and all of that. I'm hoping that slowly but surely we just keep changing people's opinions. And again, I shouldn't have to be a mascot for the disability community, but this is my life and I'm going to live it. And if that makes me a mascot, then
you know what? Like that's how we can use the privilege that we do have, I think.
Yes.
Like, like that's like, I can't necessarily go and protest or do things out of.
No.
But with the technology, you can just hop right on and be like,
exactly.
Here's what this is like.
I can advocate this way. You're not going to ever catch me at a protest, and that's not because I don't want to be there, but for my safety, I will not be there.
And that's becoming a bigger thing.
That is. But you know, the one thing you will always see me doing is not shutting the fuck up on the mic.
Right.
So,
and that's,
which one's better? That's forever. Protest is temporary.
Yeah, and you're right. If it's on the internet, it's kind of there.
It is there forever. Except my MySpace photos. Where the fuck are my MySpace photos?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Our parents were always like, the internet's forever. Then where is my MySpace shit? Because that is into the ether somewhere.
Yeah, what is my playlist I had on that MySpace profile?
It was fire. It was fire.
I miss those days.
Ugh, the good old days where we knew how to code.
Right?
It was only for MySpace. Anything else, I'm just like, how does a website work?
And what better way to like coding 101? Like, here, design your MySpace page.
I was Penelope Garcia over there with all of this, and now I'm just like,
I might have like one of those janky backgrounds. It was just like, like, and some of the animations were just the worst.
Trash, but we thought it was fire.
It was so great. And you're like, here's my ranked friends.
We need to bring that back.
Yeah, where's Tom? Bring back Tom.
Yeah, bring back to where the fuck is Tom?
I know, where is it? At Waldo.
I know.
But, yeah, those were fun times.
Such good times.
But yeah, social media is it's a good thing in that way.
It can be, yes. It is inherently the worst thing to ever happen to us as a society as a whole, but we're finding the good in some of it.
Yeah. And I'm not going to use that certain phrase, but.
Oh, yeah. Let's not get us both canceled.
No, let's not. But I agree with you.
No, 1000%.
No canceling, please.
Yeah, literally. I'm just getting started. I can't get canceled yet.
I know.
But Ty, thank you so much for taking the time out and the energy. This is never necessarily easy to dive into, so I beyond appreciate your advocacy and all the work that you're doing with your podcast. And one more time for everyone, where can we find the podcast? What's it called? And where can we find you on Instagram as well?
Yeah. So Instagram, it's under the Ty Pod, and I can send you the exact tag on that because I changed it recently for reasons. But yeah, it's the Thai Pod, and it's on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. And then I drop episodes like every Friday. So yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, by the way, this is like my favorite like type of social media, to be honest. Like the text and image stuff is cool, but it's as close to real life as a lot of us will get with things. So yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So Ty, thank you again. Guys, we will catch you on the next episode. And as always, stay hot, stay messy.